Do not buy a Lucid prop firm account until you actually know the rules of the firm. In this video, we're going to be breaking down everything that you need to know about Lucid Trading, the account types, their pro versus the flex versus the direct account, consistency rules, end of day drawdown, payout rules, because most traders do not actually fail at trading or their strategy. They fail at the rules that prop firms design to make you fail. So if you want to pass your evaluation, keep the account, and actually get paid, make sure to hit that like button and hit that subscribe button if you're new here. Let's get right into the video. A lot of prop firm traders do not actually fail because their strategy doesn't work or because they don't have an edge. A lot of traders already have the edge, especially if you're watching my YouTube channel. You have a very strong edge. You have OnlyTix Model V2, which is designed for certain prop firm accounts. In my opinion, if you're trading an account that has easy rules, then it's going to be easier for you to pass the evaluation, maintain the consistency rule, and actually secure the prop firm payout. And at Lucid, blown accounts aren't usually because of just the drawdown. A lot of the times it's because of the consistency rule and misreading that it has an end of the day trailing drawdown. And both of these things are 100% avoidable. A lot of prop firm rules are what actually crush traders because they don't stay in between that consistency rule, or they don't stay in between that drawdown rule that they actually have on that account, leading in a consistency breach on evaluations, a misread drawdown, or messing up a payout cycle because you don't actually understand that you're eligible for a payout on a funded. Lucid Trading has 3 different prop firm accounts that you can take. If you pick the wrong account, or you pick an account that does not actually go along with your edge, then you end up fighting the rules of the account that were not built for your personal trading style. So here's the honest breakdown of the 3 accounts that Lucid has, and we're going to cover my personal favorite account as well that I like to trade OnlyTix V2 using. Overall, the Lucid Pro, Lucid Flex, and Lucid Direct accounts are all a little bit different. The Lucid Pro account is the one we're going to cover first. This account, most importantly, has a 40% consistency rule on the funded account. It has no daily loss limit. It has no consistency rule on the evaluation, meaning you can pass it in one day. As well as it's the cheapest account. It has a one-time fee, no activation. But the main thing that kills traders here is that 40% consistency rule. We're going to dive into in just 1 second what this actually means, but this is the main difference between the Lucid Pro and the Lucid Flex account. The Lucid Flex account is the account that I personally like to trade. It has no daily loss limit. On the funded, there is 0 consistency rule, right? So Lucid Pro, it has a consistency rule on the funded, meaning you can't make a big day. You can only take base hits on these accounts ideally. Overall, on the Lucid Flex account, there is only a consistency rule on the evaluation. So you see how they kind of switched these 2 consistency rules on the evaluation. On Lucid Flex, there is a 50% consistency rule on the evaluation. On Lucid Pro, there is no consistency rule on the evaluation, but there is a consistency rule on the funded account. On the Lucid Flex, there is no consistency rule on the funded account. Hopefully, I made that very clear. As well as they also have a Lucid Direct option, which is their instant funded option, which actually has no prop firm evaluation. But what it does have is a 20% consistency rule on the funded account, so on the direct account, making this a more strict plan compared to the others when you're actually on that funded account, meaning that you have to be very, very precise with that consistency rule, making sure that you're not making too much in a single day based on the payout amount that you want to take. Overall, the most important thing with Lucid in general is that it has an end of day trailing drawdown, which in my opinion is very, very good because there's no intraday trailing drawdown on these accounts in general. Meaning that if you're floating in a trade up $2,000, your drawdown does not go up on the day, right? But at the end of the day, say you make a certain amount of money, then your trailing drawdown goes up based on what you closed on the day, at the end of the day on that account. So say at the end of the day, your balance on your account is at 51.5K, your drawdown is then trailed based on that and not based on whatever you were up or down during the actual day, which honestly is a very good thing. Now we're going to actually dive a bit deeper into the consistency rule that they do have. Overall, if you're trading a pro account, you have to keep in mind that on the pro account, there's a 40% consistency rule on that funded account, meaning you can't make a big ass profit and still secure a payout, because then you're not actually going to be eligible for that consistency. Say, for example, an account has a 50% consistency rule, for example, the Flex 50K evaluation. This account right here, 50% consistency on the eval. You got to keep in mind that if you make $2,000 in a day, you're not going to be eligible to pass that prop firm account, because the profit target is $3,000 usually on 50K accounts, which would then result in 67% consistency. In order to hit that profit target while maintaining that 50% consistency, your biggest day would have to be 1,500 at most, which is 50% of that profit target. You can calculate this by doing your biggest trading day divided by your total profit and making sure that that is less than or greater to 50% of the total profit target or the total balance that you're going for. For example, say that you're on a funded account, you're going for a $4,000 balance, so $4,000 profit in your account before requesting a payout. Your biggest day, if the consistency rule is 50%, should be no more than $2,000. So when picking a Lucid account, make sure to actually know your number, right? Whatever your consistency rule is, make sure to trade in between this and not make too much on a certain day. On the pro account, there's no consistency on eval. On the flex, there's a 50% consistency on eval, meaning you can only make 1,500 max in a day on a 50K account. On the flex funded, there's no consistency rule, which I really, really like. That's why I like the flex 50K account so much on Lucid Trading, because on that flex account, you're not actually capped to how much you can make on a day. On the pro, there's a 40% consistency rule on the funded. On the direct, the straight to funded option, there's a 20% consistency rule always. So all that you have to do to maintain a consistency rule is to cap your best day on purpose. So set a daily profit target, a max amount of money that you can make on a day. For example, if you're trading a 50K flex evaluation, you get 4 days of $750 per day. That is clean, right? You'll pass it. You will stay under that consistency. Also, something very important that you need to understand is the payout cycle. When you're actually funded, it's important to know what numbers you should be aiming for when you're trading before you actually request your payout. So understanding these numbers before your first withdrawal are very, very important. On the pro account, you can request payouts within 3 days. On the flex, 5 winning days. And also there is a 2026 update that they did add. They now allow news trading on all accounts. Lucid Pro accounts added in a new 3-day payouts and a 1-day pass potential, while the straight to funded option dropped the 8-day payout wait. So it does take a little bit longer on the straight to fundeds to actually pay yourself out. But some of the updates that Lucid did add is allowing news trading, making a 1-day pass account, which is the pro account, and the direct straight to funded accounts now do not actually have a 8-day payout wait. The Lucid Pro account is the newest plan that they dropped. No daily loss limit, pass evaluations in 1 day. You can request payouts after 3 trading days, and you can use unlimited 40% off discounts if you purchase accounts using code KRABS at checkout. So the decision really is yours, which account you think is best based on your trading strategy. For me personally, I really like to trade the flex accounts because there is zero consistency rule on the funded account. The thing is though, the pro account is very beneficial for a lot of traders that like to secure base hits. And in my opinion, this 40% consistency rule on the funded will keep you very disciplined to not overtrade and to not go for big ass days, because it's just going to force you to take consistent base hits, which in my opinion, it really does help a lot of people, as well as they also do have that 1-day pass on evaluation. Like I said before, if you want 40% off any Lucid account until July 24th, use code KRABS at checkout. And keep in mind that Lucid Prop Firm is a one-time fee, no activation. The link is in the description as well if you want to grab some accounts for next week. Also, this Sunday on July 12th at 7 p.m. EST, I'm going to be hosting a free live training with me where I'm going to be covering my lower time frame, only takes V2 entry model. So if you guys are still not yet funded, if you get funded, but every time you get funded, you blow your accounts, or if you don't have a consistent strategy in place, make sure to actually save your seat for the live training with me this Sunday, July 12th at 7 p.m. EST. The first link in the description is where you can register. Comment below if you got any value out of this video. Hit that like button and help spread some of the game that I just dropped about Lucid in general. Also, comment below if you guys want me to review more prop firms, diving deeper into the actual rules, how to stay in between the limits, consistency rules, profit targets. Comment below if you want more of these. I feel like a lot of people can get a lot of value out of these. Also, subscribe if you're new here. Hit that notifications bell to see when I post next. Until next time, love you all. Peace out. Trade safe. Don't crash out. And I'll see you at the free live training this Sunday at 7 p.m. EST. First link in description below.